Hello everyone, welcome to Listen Dev. And in this video, I'll walk you through building a multilingual AI chatbot using Sarvam AI and Streamlit. And we'll focus specifically on supporting various Indian languages like Hindi, Gujarati, Bengali, Kannada, Punjabi, of course, alongside with default English. Okay, and by the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding how to build this multilingual AI chatbot with integrating Sarvam AI APIs and how to take care our diverse language application barriers. Okay, so first let's see the demo of it, and then we'll talk about bit about our tech stack and about a bit our Sarvam AI. Okay, so here's the application. You could see we have this dynamic button over here. So if I press in Hindi, I'll come into this Hindi chat display. For Gujarati, I'll have another chat session. For Bengali, I have another chat session. So let me try out English. Let us try the default one, our general one. So hello. Okay, it's running. If I go into send, you could see hello. How can I assist you today? Whether you have questions, everything. All right. So what is the capital of India? Let me say in this. The capital of India is New Delhi. It is vibrant city, all this kind. Okay, now using same thing for our Hindi language. Okay, I'll come into Hindi, and you can notice that even if I come to Hindi, Gujarati, Bengali, if I come into English again, I'll still have my chat history. Okay, so in history, let me say hello, right. नमस्कार, आज मैं आपकी किस प्रकार सहायता कर सकती हूँ इन अवर हिंदी. देन व्हाट इज़ द कैपिटल ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल विच इज़ माई स्टेट. सो लेट मी क्लिक इट ऑन. एंड पश्चिम बंगाल की राजधानी कोलकाता है, जो भारत की पूर्वी भाग में स्थित एक प्रमुख सांस्कृतिक जो भी है. ठीक है, एंड देयर आर अदर्स एज वेल. लेट मी ट्राई कन्नाडा. लेट्स से हेलो. I don't know Kannada language, so what is written I don't know. Okay, Bengali, which is my mother tongue. So hi. আমি আজ আপনাকে কিভাবে সাহায্য করতে পারি, all those things. Okay, we have Punjabi, Gujarati as well, right? So now what we are using Streamlit, of course, our go-to framework to build our application, and we'll be using Sarvam AI, which is an Indian startup. Okay, and recently you could see a bit of buzz in the Twitter that it has recently launched its Bulbul model for text to speech, all those things. So let me just show you how we can explore its application. Okay, you could see what's new, all these models it has. So we should move to our API platform. Okay, so it will give you 1,000 free credits. You can use that. Okay, its pricing is pretty, I don't say cheap, but you know, as we developers, we use GPT, so for us it's comparatively cheap. Okay, in Playground you can use Sarvam-M models for their LLM model. They have text to speech, speech to text, all these models. Okay, here you can try their models. Okay, and let's comes to this the dev docs, and let's comes to their quick start. Okay, and it will tell you how to use, how to integrate Sarvam API, how to use their speech to text, how their speech to text translate, text to speech, everything. Okay, and all that, and it has lots of models, and their translation models are namely as I think their transform model is named as Mayuria. Okay, so let me find that. I generally lost those things over here. So, okay, so key features, we have translate text, speech to translate. So we'll be using this translate text function. So no more. It has this many language capability. Okay, and the model name is here is somewhere. The model name would be, I think, yes, this one. You could see the model name is Mayuria V1. Okay, it has other model as well. It has Bulbul for text to speech, I guess. It is, I guess, for Bulbul. yes, Bulbul for this one. Okay, it has this chat completion model that we'll be using as well, and this name is Sarvam-am model. Okay, you can also use it for parsing your PDF, your documents, everything. Okay, and I'll be using this pretty much, and okay, so that's being said, let us create this application. Okay, all right, so first we need to get our Sarvam API key. So you can have your API key from this page, dashboard.sarvam.ai/key management. You can create your own API key from here. Okay, now I have added this API key in my this .env file. You could see this multilingual chatbot. Let me just show you. So before that, I'll be first activating my virtual environment. All right, so for that, so let me in this multilingual chatbot, I'll create a new file. Let's say readme.md. Okay, so to create a virtual environment using VNV, we generally use Python -m VENV, and the name of your virtual environment, which in my case is mynv. Okay, and to activate the VNV, what we do, we write this command that mynv under that scripts file, under that we need to activate. All right, so I'll be using that to activate my virtual environment. So mynv /scripts/activate. All right, now I'll get to my this multilingual chatbot folder. So cd multilingual chatbot. All right, so I am under my multilingual chatbot file. Here I have this .env file and this readme.md. I'll simply save it. Okay, now first we'll be needing a requirement.txt. so let's say new file, requirements.txt. okay, so what are the packages or what are the libraries that we need to install for this application? It would be Streamlit, Sarvam AI, python.env to get our API key from .env files. That's it. Okay, and to run this requirement.txt, we run this command pip install -r requirements.txt. all right, and I have already installed all these packages, so it will be requirements. Okay, so I won't be installing again. And so after we have our API key set up, our virtual environment activate, and our requirement.txt, now let me create a file, let's say as simply app.py. I am not making it modular. I'll be just showing you the process how to integrate Sarvam AI and its LLM endpoint to build a multilingual chatbot. And in future, what GenAI project that I'll be building, I'll be integrating this Sarvam AI feature of multilingual using modular coding. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is that we need to import those libraries, right? So import Streamlit as ht. okay, then from Sarvam AI we need to import Sarvam AI, and from .env we need to import this load.env. okay, and to use the .env we need to import OS, and to process our API endpoint and API request we need requests. Okay, all right, now here the first thing we need to do, that we need to load our .env file for our secure API. So I'll be load environment variables. Okay, I'll be calling this load.env function, and Sarvam API key I'll use os.getEnv, and the name that I have given in my .env is Sarvam API key. All right. Okay, and after that we need to initialize our Sarvam AI client. Okay, so for that, initialize Sarvam AI client. Okay, it's just Sarvam AI client. Okay, so for that, in client I'll call my Sarvam AI, and I need to pass the API subscription key. It would be my Sarvam API key. All right, it's won't be double, will be 1 equals to. All right. Okay, now in our next step we'll be adding all the languages, and we'll be creating our session state. All right, so now we will kind of define our all languages, as we have said earlier that we'll be using English, Hindi, Gujarati, Bengali, Kannada, and Punjabi. So we need to add these languages as a dictionary. Okay, so for that we'll be doing here, I'll be creating a dictionary as languages. Okay, in languages I'll be using these curly brace, and I'll add all languages. So English, in English, after that, and Sarvam AI provides some code to kind of understand each and every languages. Okay, so for English we have en/in. In means that Indian, right? So English as per Indian language, as per Indian vocabulary kind of thing. Okay, then for Hindi we'll be using hi, Hindi, then in. Okay, and then for our, let's say, Gujarati, Gujarati, right? This one is like this, and here it would be gu/in. All right, then for our Bengali, it would be bn/in. Okay, and then we have Kannada. So for Kannada it will be kn-in, and for Punjabi I'll be using pa-in. Alright, so we have added all the languages over here. Now I forgot to add the set page config part. Okay, so as we'll be kind of creating the application in a way that if I want to chat with my chatbot in English, that will be in a different page, and if I want to chat in Hindi, that will be in a different page. So I can't reload my set page config each and every time. So I need to make sure that my set page config reloads only once. So for that I need to do that on the top. Okay, so let me just do that after this Streamlit. Okay, so ht.set page config. Here I'll write page title, and I'll name it as, let's say, multilingual chat. Okay, and here the layout I would be making it centered. Okay, I'll save it, I'll run this application. So Streamlit run app.py. Let's see how it's looking. All right, so all right, so you can see multilingual chat. Okay, now let us put some content over here. So first, as I have said earlier, that we need to store each and every conversation. So we need to first use our session state for each and every language, and also each and every conversation for each and every language. So we need to use session state properly over here. So first, session state, and this would be for the active language. Okay, active language. So let's say if my active language not in the session, not in st dot session state, then I'll add that. So st dot session state, I'll dot active active language would be English. Like I want to make the active language English by default. Okay, so English, it would be my active language by default. So after that, here I need to initialize the chat and to display the chat history. Okay, so initialize chat and display history. Okay, so here for lang in languages, like which language you're activating, or as per that, if chat history slash that particular language, so lang, so if this is not in my st dot session state. Okay, like if the activated language is not in my session state, I need to add that. So st dot session state dot, here I need to add this if string. So chat history underscore my language that I have chosen. Okay, and then I'll be adding the role, like I'll be adding the responses, how the responses will be coming. So here I'll be using, let's say, role. This role would be as per the system. So system, then for the content I'll be using you are a helpful chat assistant. Okay, done. So after all this, here I need to, now after that I need to add this whole chat into my chat history. So st dot session state, okay, there won't be any dot. Okay, so after that, if I need to display the chat history as well, right? So display history, the language that I want to use. Again, same logic. If it is not in my st dot session state, I'll be using the string history language. Okay, I'll initialize the conversation. Okay, so let's save it. All right, so after that we need to create our sidebar language selector, from where I'll control that which language we want to use. Okay, all right, so now we'll create our sidebar where we'll be dynamically create our buttons for each and every language. And for clicking a button, it will update our session state for that particular language, and it will trigger a rerun for the whole application, and it will load the correct language chat history for us. All right, so for that we'll give a command. Let's say sidebar language selector. Okay, and here ht we'll use sidebar. So sidebar we'll use a markdown. Let's say this one down. Here let's say select language, right? And after that, for lang in languages, it will be for lang in languages if ht dot sidebar dot button. Okay, here we'll provide our lang for each and every language, and we'll update our session state. So ht session state dot active lang would be lang. Okay, so now I'll save it. Now let's see what it looks like. I'll refresh this. Okay, you could see we have English, Hindi, Gujarati, Bengali, Kannada, Punjabi. All right, now we need to create the chat interface. Okay, so in the chat interface, here we'll be setting up our main display area, right? So as per clicking on the language button, it will dynamically update the title and it will show the current language. All right, so for that, first we need to get the current language details, like which language user is want to use. So language details. For that, I'll take a variable current lang. Here I'll be taking that for my session state, ht session state dot active lang. Okay, now target lang code. Okay, so like which language code I'm be using. So languages, here current lang, the spelling is wrong somewhere. Okay, so current language, so it would be language, okay, and here we'll have this en hyphen in or hi hyphen in, that particular code of the language, right? Then chat history key, as will be dynamically update each and every language interface. So we need a key for each and every chat history. Okay, so chat history, here will provide my current lang. Okay, now I need to display. So display history key. Second, simple display history with my current language. Okay, all right, now here we we have received all the language details as per user's choice. Now let's say for the app, what will be looking like in the interface. So ht dot markdown, I'll be giving some style to it. So let's say an h2 tag. We need to finish it h2. Okay, under this h2 tag we also need to give a style. Let's give a style to it. So style text align will be center. Okay, and here I'll need to provide the current language. All right, and here I'll say unsafe allow HTML, of course, because I'm using some HTML tag, so true. Okay. Then simply ht dot to divide the section divider. I'll save it. Come here, I'll refresh the page. Alright, some error. Has no attribute active lang. Forget to initialize. Okay, I haven't initialized the session state, of course. So display messages. Okay, for chat in session state, here I provide the display key, display history key, ht dot markdown chat, and unsafe, it will be true. I'll save it. Now we need to create the user form. Like we need to create the chat interface where user will put their prompt, right? So chat, like let's say interface. Okay, so with ht dot form we'll use this, chat ht form will use chat form, and over here I'll pass this clear on submit, which will be true. And if it happens, then I need to take the user input. So user input where ht dot text input, where we'll provide our u and a placeholder. Okay, type your message. Okay, and type your message. We need to pass some more parameters over here as type your message, and we need to visible this placeholder. So level visibility will be making it collapse. Then submitted would be ht dot from submit button, like this one, and we'll provide send, right? So here we are using this from to handle our user input. All right, so now we need to create the logic to send our user query to our Sarvam AI, and we need to also add our translation logic over there. Okay, so first let's do it. So actually, if we could see our application is running. So English for this, if we say Hindi, Gujarati, Bengali, Kannada, Punjabi. Okay, and the error you could see over here that it says that ht.session has no attribute active lang, and this is saying because when you refresh the application and as fast, it's not having any particular language, but when you'll be clicking in English, Hindi, it's having that session state, so it's not showing any error, and will be taking care of that in this part where we'll be creating the main logic. Okay, so let's do that. So I'll keep it down. All right, now Sarvam AI logic. All right, so first we need to see if user has submitted its input or not. So if submitted, and my user input, I need to strip the user input first, and I'll be storing the message. So let's say store message. All right, now here in my ht.session state, in my chat history key, I'll append this. So role would be, my role is user, and the content would be my user content is my user input. Okay, and also I need to show that, so I need to use display history key as well. So ht.session state, here in third bracket, display chat history key, I'll use append, then simply here I'll add u dot, let's say I can't do it like that, so u would be my user input. So user input. Okay, let's see. Now this says that this was not closed, so append starts over here, it ends over here. Of course I need to provide the curly brace, user input. Okay, all right, so after that I need to call Sarvam AI. So call Sarvam LLM. Okay, so to call Sarvam LLM, if we can go to our Sarvam LLM dashboard, here you could see in my dev docs, here in this documentation, if you just wait a minute. I was searching today, so text to speech, if you click on this quick start, not here, we don't have it over here, so all right, so let's come over here, my dashboard, and if we just go to this playground, we having our Sarvam AI. So let's use this try LLM API. All right, so in this page you could see chat completion. Here it's saying that to use this chat completion model of Sarvam, which name is Sarvam -name, we need these headers. Okay, we need headers, we need our payloads. So as per that, you could see we need our header, our content, our payload, all those things. Okay, so for that we'll be writing the code as per that. Okay, so first headers, here I'll add some authorization keys. So authorization, so let's say if here I need to provide my Sarvam API key over here. Then for the content type I need to provide it as application JSON application/JSON. all right. So, and after doing that, we need to define our payload, like which are the parameter that will be passing through this LLM. So payload here, first thing we need to pass our model name. So model, which name is Sarvam -m. Okay. Also messages, here we need to pass our session. So ht.session state, our chat history key. Okay. So after that, we need to define our response, like how we'll be receiving our responses. So response here would be requests dot, I'll be using this post. Here I need to pass the Sarvam AI's API point. So in this dashboard, I'll simply copy this, I'll paste it over here. Okay, so https://api.sarvam v1 chat completion. Okay, after that I'll provide my headers as headers, and I'll in my JSON I'll provide my payload. Okay, then if my response dot status code is, let's say, 200, then assistant reply. Okay, then I had to take the reply. So assistant reply would be response dot JSON. Here I need to provide my choices and the first index with my message, and after that my content. Okay, so here in my assistant reply I have got my response from my Sarvam AI. Okay, all right. So after calling our Sarvam LLM, now we need to translate. We need to add our translate logic, and here we'll translate only if not already in our target language. Okay, so let's say translate logic. All right, so here if my target language code is not in the by default, which is EN and IN, if it's not in that, then because only English doesn't need the translation, right? So like this. So for the translation I'll pass my client over here. I'll use text dot translate. Okay, now here I'll be passing my input as assistant reply, our chatbot reply, our source language code, which will be EN IN. Okay, you can change it as per your wish. If you want, you can make it more dynamic, and our target language code would be our target language code. Okay, then for speaker gender, it's not necessary, but this is what we have in our Sarvam LLMs, documentation, because it's kind of an optional part, but as I said that you can make it more advanced. So Sarvam APIs like Sarvam AI has these features to make it voice synthesis. Okay, so you can modify your this these responses as a male voice or female voice. Okay, so I'm writing these as optional if you want. Alright, I'll give the comment later. So optional. Alright, so this part is done. Now after I'm passing that, I need to have my final reply. So final reply that I'll be having, reply here, translation dot, I'll use this translated text. Okay, and else final reply would be our assistant reply if I want to use English as a default. After translating, now we need to store our responses. So store responses. Okay, it will be pretty simple. So ht dot session state to provide my chat history key, then dot append the role would be of assistant, content would be my final reply. Okay, all right, and now for this else, for this if else ht. Okay, so after final reply, we need to add our session display. So ht dot session state, I need to provide my display history key as well. Here we'll append this, and then I'll provide my name for assistant, and this would be the final reply. Okay, final reply. Now ht dot error, let's say API not found or anything like this. Okay, for an error purpose. Now alright, so as we are done with our application, you could see we have stored our assistant response, we have translate our all responses, so everything. So let us run it again. So Streamlit run app.py. I'll be using each and every language. Okay, so for by default English, if I say hello, how can I assist you today, whether you have questions, everything. Okay, then let's say try Hindi. I say hello again. Okay, नमस्कार, आज मैं आपकी किस प्रकार सहायता कर सकती हूँ, everything. And let us try for Kannada. Try something different. So what is the capital of Karnataka? So I don't know Karnataka language, so I don't know what is written. Okay, I'm sorry. Then for Bengali, which is my mother tongue, they say what is the capital of West Bengal, running. Yes, Paschim Banga Rajdhani, hello Kolkata. Okay, so like that's my Bengali. Then Hindi I've done. Let's try everything. Let's just count. Hello. I don't know Gujarati, Punjabi, again Punjabi. Okay, so that's what's for this video, and this was the basic implementation of how we can create a multilingual chatbot. Now you can use this easily in your application to interact with more diverse language of peoples. Okay, and yeah, so thanks for watching and see you in the next video.